Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Justice Buster from Justice Buster Batman Endgame. I didn't mean to say that again, but I have problems. It's from Batman Endgame. Okay, so we're going to do a question right off the bat, and that's because I don't know as much about this version of Batman's super suit as I could. So is this a suit that he goes in, or is this like a robot that he controls? I'm assuming it's like the other ones where he actually goes in it, in which case I have questions, like where does he go? Because it doesn't look like it actually fits a human being. So that's the question of the day. And the second question of the day is Batman's suit cooler than the Hulkbuster for Iron Man? I'm gonna go with definitely. The Batman super suits are way cooler than Iron Man's super suits, even though Iron Man specializes in such a thing. Okay, so this is one of their, I don't know if it's actually called a mega figure in the listings, but it's basically that. It's a $40 to $42 figure, depending on where you look at it, I think, and it's quite large. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, real quick before we look at the figure, we'll look at my package. Not much to see on the front. It is just a giant window with a little bit of naming right there. Nothing special. On the side, more window, more naming. Again, nothing special. And yet again, our true naming down here gives us a little bit more clarity. Nothing special. And then some artwork on the back, which isn't exactly the same artwork as on the figure, which makes me think McFarlane did his thing again where it's not exactly the thing that it's supposed to be. It's close, but it's not. But they also have like a million different, slightly different versions of these kind of artwork type things. Comics, that is, so it could be a real thing. You guys can let me know. I'm assuming that's actually from a comic and that this is a slight variation on said thing, but you guys can let me know about that. So, box is okay. I imagine nobody's keeping boxes like that. They're too damn big and they don't have enough going on. Alrighty, this guy stands a whopping 26.5 inches, give or take, depending on how you have him posed. I have him pretty tall. I have him about as tall as he can be. And that's going to be about, let's just call it 10.5 inches. We'll set him down, and we'll do this so I can do a better comparison, just to give you an idea. And here's Darwin, up to about the belt buckle. And then here is Superman, which is a bigger scale. I think scaling from the images I've seen for this sort of Buster, which isn't exactly the one in the comics, but whatever, it's about right, which is why I said, where does Batman go in this one? Assuming he does go in it, are his legs down here and just breaking every time the hips move? I don't know. Okay, so big size, look cool, but is it any good? It's good enough. We'll start with the aesthetic as we normally do. We have some different finishes. I like the Bat logo on the front there. That's super nice. Darker plastic, lots of dry brushing on there to bring it to life. That's cool. Right behind it, lots of details that are not painted, so it looks really cheap. On the arms, on the gauntlets, we have two different things going on. We have this color and this color. I think they should be the same. This one has dry brushing, this one has none. Looks kind of weird and janky. Finger details are nice because it's darker plastic like the Bat. Lots of dry brushing brings it to life. The head, we have a few different things going on. We have this finish here with slight dry brushing. This finish with none. So it's like halfway finished and halfway not. Then we do have the little glowy eyes, which are okay, that's fine. And then the whole thing is basically this setup. We have this color with some finish, like some dry brushing, and then this color, which is just painted dull gray. Kind of throughout the whole thing. Same thing for the boots, or for the feet, whatever you want to call this. This part's finished, this part's not. In here, not. The toes look like the hands. So those look good, or the fingers, I guess. So yeah, there's some parts that are really nicely detailed, and then other parts that have very, very little detail going on. Paint-wise. Sculpt-wise, I'd say there's enough there. So, it's only a $40 figure. You could easily do some dry brushing on here, not be too worried about it, not feel too bad about it, and really bring it to life. They have the thrusters in the back, didn't paint those. Lots of little details that could easily bring this to life. Paint that stuff in there maybe, just a little bit of an extra different metallic color. And then just cover the whole thing in wash and dry brush, and wash and dry brush, in whatever combination you like. I would say you're better off doing dry brushing than a wash and then more dry brushing. That's probably the best way to bring things out, but that's totally up to you. So aesthetically, it's definitely good enough. It definitely has room for improvement, but I think for the price point, this is okay, so I will give it an 8 out of 10. Looks solid, but not that solid. Okay. For accessories, you get the trading card, which shows the artwork that doesn't match the figure, so that's worthless. And then you get, this kills me. You get the standard DC display stand, Are we noticing that it's not going to serve any purpose? It's quite literally useless. It's going to serve zero purpose. The feet, the toesies, stick out farther than it does. So accessory-wise, 0 out of 10. Not that it needed any, but the ones that are there are worthless. Okay, for articulation, the head's on a big double ball peg. That's as far back as it goes. Then you can wiggle it around on that ball peg if you want to. And then it can go pretty far forward. This is a separate piece. Doesn't really do anything, though. Be cooler, I think, if it was lifted up some. But anyway, yeah, it can go all the way forward. I don't think it looks good that way, though. I think you want it probably like somewhere in between, like right there maybe. But yeah, it technically can move around, so that's pretty good. This is a softer material and it goes all the way around, so it's not going to flex at all, not too much really. But you get shoulder joint that does almost all the way out to the side. This is getting in the way. And then full rotation, you can crank it up about that far, which is, again, probably far enough. You get your ratcheted bicep swivel, that's good. Joints feel nice on this thing. No real problem there. Big ratcheted elbow, single joint, just about 90 degrees. And as for the fingers, nothing. They're not moving. That's unfortunate. Let's get these guys out of the way. His torso appears to just be on a loose ball peg. It has some wiggle forward and back, not much, quite a lot side to side, and then of course your rotation. But it is very, very loose, so that's a little bit irritating. Hips are standard type of hips with ratchets, heavy ratchets. Can't bring the leg too far forward, but for something like this, I think that's probably okay. You can go back just a little bit, going out to the side. Almost full on splits, depending on how you wiggle it and kind of manhandle it, but that's good enough range. You do get a thigh swivel in there, so that's good. You have 2 knee joints. One would be this top one, which doesn't have a ton of range, but it's there. And then the other one is this bottom one, which this is just like a joint hider right here. So there is another joint down there though, which lets you extend the leg in kind of a useless way, but you can go like that all the way to that. So you can figure out how to pose the knees to make them look good. It's kind of goofy looking. It's almost a digitigrade, but not really, and it's just weird. Mostly like an ugly plantigrade, if you ask me, but whatever. And then there is a ball peg at the bottom that allows the foot part just to wiggle a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it's there. So yeah, I think that poses well enough for this big hunky thing. Could it be better? Definitely, especially the jiggly torso, but I think it's all right. I think you're going to be just fine with this, and it's painted enough that if you didn't want to mess with it, you could throw that on the shelf and be just fine with it. It's going to look better than most things that are coming in the $20 to $30 price point from the domestic companies, not counting NECA. So I like it well enough. Articulation-wise, I'll give it a 7. It's fine. It's got more articulation than I thought it was going to, but definitely less than it could have. So that could be better. But okay, time for the final verdict on this thing. I like it more than I thought I was going to. I don't like some of the things like the two-tone gauntlets, and it needs to be a little bit more cohesive, but there is more paint on it than I thought there would be. And it poses way better than I thought it would, and the sculpt is sharp. So this is a super easy touch-up. Or what do they call them nowadays? What are the kids saying? Glow-ups? You could glow this up. I think that's how you say that. It's probably not. But you could easily turn this into a really nice looking collectible, and it is definitely good enough as is. I'm gonna give this guy an overall rating for 40 bucks. 9? Almost a 9. I'm gonna say 8. I don't like some of the way the finish is inconsistent, but it's a really solid release for the price point. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the figure in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the video by giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you want to share, hey, that's good too. All that kind of stuff really helps the algorithm. So if you want to help, you could do that. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands, literally thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.